here. What's up, horror fam? To our first HHN 365 YouTube live. We got 3 of the 4 crew. Jonathan is producing right now. He's here, but he's not here.
He's with all of you.
Yeah, he's in the chat.
He's in the chat, so you can say hi to him. He'll respond, but he's not on camera. We're going to be going over the spec map. We're going to be going over some news, some line talk. We're going to be talking about the queues. There's some pictures. We're also going to be answering your questions. We have an episode coming where we deep dive into the spec map, but we're definitely going to kind of go over it here and dabble in it and answer your questions about it. So we have a lot of things planned.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get into it, as he said, first one ever. How was audio? Any issues? Everyone good? Can you hear all of us?
Hi, I don't think I've spoken yet.
See all of us? I hope you can see all of us.
Okay.
No complaints?
Is it different seeing us? Because we don't do this very often.
No.
Ever, basically.
Well, we do
TikTok.
Yeah.
We do
We
live
do the live
trivia.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Yeah, not like a fully
Full production.
We can hear it very well. Thank you, Lauren. All right.
So yeah, shall we hop into what's on everyone's mind? We will bring up some spec maps, I think.
Yeah.
So Horror Night Nightmares did release Volume 2 for both Orlando and Hollywood. We're of course going to start off with Orlando because my heart is there and I'm also physically there. So why not?
Still the emojis.
Still the emojis. Nothing is listed by name except unknown original. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But we're gonna play along and see what we can get. Let's first go to what has not changed and what has stayed the same. So we're gonna go look up at the no noise symbol.
Yeah. Now that location changed, right? And
yes. It was in one of the new tents.
In one of the tents, yes.
And where the popcorn.
So now in a soundstage.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think it's kind of been universally accepted at this point that it is a quiet place. Which of those films it could be? Haven't really heard too much on that, I guess, at this point. I personally think, even though we have not seen the film, from what I know about it and what the plot is, Day One, which is the new film coming out, would make the most sense, probably, right?
Sounds like it.
Yeah. They don't have to be quiet, at least from what we've seen, because I'm assuming they don't know that yet. We know nothing about the film except the one. I don't even know if it's a full trailer. I know Joseph Quinn's in it. That's it. But they're talking. This does give us an opportunity for really cool puppets.
Yeah, definitely.
If we do get it, or puppets, animatronic, whatever they're going to do.
They have to be big.
Like Mind
big
Flayer,
puppets.
big or bigger.
Yeah, it feels like more of a traditional like monster attacking New York kaiju movie. Which have we gotten like those at HHN?
I don't know if there's anything I would directly compare to that. No, to be completely honest.
No. So yeah, this will be. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that genre translates to HHN.
I'm looking forward to it. I will say I might not be the most excited for it, but I am really curious, whichever film they go with, how they will pull it off. Because at the end of the day, there is an element of quiet. And that's not something that HHN ever really encourages in any way, to be honest.
What if it's a quiet room, like Graveyard Games? But like, no, like what if the whole house is like Day One or whatever it's called, and then the last room is like, oh, shit hits the fan. We actually, now let's go into the first movie a little bit. That would be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, tell it backwards a little bit.
Yeah, well, because this is I'm not good at what is a prequel.
Prequel.
So this is that, and then we could go into like John Krasinski and I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. Right below it, we have the Cadillac logo still. I think the consensus here is it's still going to be Ghostbusters. I will think the talk has kind of shifted from which Ghostbusters is 1 and 2, maybe a mashup of everything, to now kind of more like a Frozen Empire house, basically.
Yeah,
that's kind of where everyone's minds have started to lean.
Another Monsters Attack a Big City movie. So
I guess we have. I guess
that's true.
That's a little different, but
I wouldn't count what they
Stay
did
Puft
in this.
is kind of like a.
But I wouldn't count what they did in the house as a kaiju attacking the city.
They did not.
He was little. He was just a little guy.
Yeah. So, how would you guys feel about any Ghostbusters coming?
Can someone who likes the franchise go first?
I mean, yeah, I think it's been long enough. I would say I like the house in 2019. It's been 5 years at this point. I like the idea that it's going to be more Frozen Empire than it is just kind of a repeat of 1 and 2, just because it's something new. I'm on the record, as long as it's new, I'm going to give it a shot. If it's something I've seen before, I'm going to be less excited about it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I would want Frozen Empire or Afterlife or a mix of both for that reason. I don't want to see the same property when there are other things you can work off of at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. I see a comment that I want to touch on that I just saw pop up.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters is Universal Florida history. It deserves to be there. I agree with you.
Agree.
But then I'm going to argue with you that why can't Beetlejuice also then get another redo house? It wasn't received well. We know kind of what happened. There's also some speculation on that, but Beetlejuice is coming out this year. Who says we can't get another Beetlejuice house done? Maybe actually will.
I will die on that hill.
Beetlejuice has been a part of Universal Orlando since it opened. So just like Ghostbusters, I hear you. It's just not for me. So I don't care if we get it or not. If we get it, I'm still gonna go through it. I'm not gonna complain, but I'm probably not gonna watch the movie to catch up. This will probably be the one miss.
I'll definitely watch it.
I just haven't seen any of the other ones. Trust in Burton. See, I'll rest my case.
I prefer we get neither of those properties at HHN, but that's just
I'll take a new IP. I just want new IPs then.
Just wanted to pop that up because I don't think he'd have a hot take here. He'd agree with us on this one, actually.
He's on the episode that's about to be.
Yeah. You're gonna hear his takes on this
on
soon.
all this stuff.
All right, so shall we move on down a bit to where it changed, but only ever so slightly, and that's where we have the focus on Central and South America. They've basically now added trees.
Is that what those are?
Those are trees.
Well, we definitely can't see them from back here.
I mean, I've stared at this on my cell phone.
Yeah.
They
appear to be trees.
Okay.
But also, didn't you say that they were in a very specific part in the episode we recorded?
I mean, they are in the general region of the Amazon. They aren't exact to the Amazon, but they're in that general region. So could it be that we are still looking at a potential like Monsters of Latin America-esque house focused in the Amazon at this point?
A scene with piranhas would be fucking cool. Like if you're going on a bridge and there's like, I don't know. Okay, now I'm thinking about it more. But also the haunt line said a 420 house confirmed. Because the trees.
Done. Done.
I feel like California would do that one first though, wouldn't they?
You would think so.
They did it literally for whatever.
I was going to say Survivor, the Amazon house.
Oh.
So like old school Survivor.
Hell yeah. Survivor gone wrong.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Like they actually have Jeff Probst, like,
Does that just run?
Deaf
in the Amazon?
goat or something.
Deaf goat.
Rob Sesternino.
Ghost.
And he's like beheaded. The tribal council of Donna Ray.
Boston Rob.
So just think generally, what if they do a Monstros in the Monsters of Latin America-esque house here? Would you want to see something like that in Orlando? Because I think for sure I would. I think, especially if you took that exact house, not what they want them to do, that could have been plussed so much in Orlando.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm on the record that Chupacabra was my favorite house of that year. Like, and if we got something like the Monstros and if they kind of fleshed it out a little bit more, I mean, that would be amazing. I think the most people's problem with Chupacabra was that the character, like the Chupi babies weren't very scary.
Mm-hmm.
So if we swap them out with some like scary ass monsters of South America, I think, we got Bruce stewing over there.
The creatures in California were terrifying in Monstros. So even if we take that route instead of like a Chupi baby route, because like for me, I never had a good run in that house. I want to see it done well because I love, all of that. I grew up in Florida. So like there is a huge, Latin culture here. So I've been saying it on the episode since we had this on the first Spec map, something that relates to the East Coast or something that maybe East Coast culture would have or have brought in from, wherever they come from. I think could be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what that is.
Here's an interesting one. Jungle of Doom.
Oh.
It's
possible.
I feel like they probably wouldn't go right back to it.
I mean, they have done it before.
They have.
I mean, we have to go back pretty far to go
Yeah.
from Scare Zone directly into a house original, at least.
Mhm.
But yeah, they've done it. They've done it a couple of times.
Yeah. I feel like with it being icon specific, that would kind of be the biggest reason to be a no at this point, unless they're like immediately bringing Oddfellow back, which I wouldn't expect for sure.
That sounds like more like an anniversary year thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Agreed.
All right, so let's move on then. Everything else is at least a bit different. One that slightly changed. If you look at the top of your screen there, we're going to Soundstage 24 again. The piece of candy was a lollipop previously.
It was.
So similar vibe, but a more specific thing this time.
Mhm.
And I think what we discussed and what many people have discussed and what has kind of just been floating around as a rumor is a sweet revenge return. I'd say this even leans more into that than the lollipop did itself.
Yeah.
Not a candy shop by 50 Cent House.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't expect it. No.
Okay, sorry. That would be,
We were about to break into candy shop.
I mean, I am always down to break into candy shop. That was one of my jams.
I'm always down to break into PIMP. All right. That's about it.
Jonathan's screaming at his computer right now and Duff's ready to leave.
Yeah, but I think it would be cool. Especially there's been talk of him being an icon, possibly as well. He wouldn't be my first choice for an icon.
Not just him.
He's
He's got a companion.
he does.
She's pretty important. She was all up in that zone too.
It's true. But the general Sweet Revenge being the icon as well wouldn't be my first choice, but I think it can definitely work.
Yeah, I could see it. And I feel like the candy, I can't explain why it makes more sense for sweets than a lollipop, but it does. Because like he had lollipops in the zone, but like I think more of like little wrapped candy, like Halloween
Like
candy.
it's just a candy.
Yeah, when I think of him. But like this could be cool because are we going into his factory? Well, I don't know if he has a factory. Are we going actually into the movie theater turn, whatever? I also saw on Twitter, I want to say it was Jesselyn said, what if this was a Candyland, like gory Candyland house instead? And that was really cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Like a Scary Tales
Yeah, Scary Tales.
Yeah.
But
It could literally just be an
Candyland?
entry in Scary Tales almost.
Oh my god, I'll die. That will be my number one on the list if it is that.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. I like anything set in the 50s. I think it's a fun era. I think it lends well. We could think of all of the other classic houses we've got from this area, like Meaty Meats and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I'm excited. I think it'll be fun.
And then you did have some support there, Mike. Don't worry.
Well,
This is just the listeners getting to see what we're like before we actually like the audio starts on the episode that they hear.
Well, we have
this is the stuff we cut out of the
we have multiple mentions of something.
Yes.
Oh,
Ah!
hot take: Willy Wonka house featuring the unknown. Yep. And also, what if this was a gory Willy Wonka?
I feel like Major Sweets is kind of that realm already, in a way, but in the 50s and not in England or whatever.
Yeah. And I like this concept from Lauren as well. It's a bit more unique to what we've heard.
Oh.
Take on the poisonous urban legend candy thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like a trick or treat, like all the weird stuff you would get in your candy.
Mm-hmm.
Like razor blades in the candy.
Yeah.
And,
You could definitely build a story
Yeah.
around that kind of I don't know if it's technically an urban legend because it's happened,
yeah.
but it's definitely one of those overplayed things.
Yeah,
that
it's like
they could run with.
it's like it happened once. It's like the Tylenol thing. Like it happened, but then but now everyone's mom says don't take Tylenol.
Mm.
I don't listen to my mom.
And Jonathan could be on the show here as well. He wants to dive deeper into that Sweet Revenge backstory, specifically Major Sweets and Miss Treats. And that podcast that they did for him was phenomenal and one of the best they've done, for sure.
I miss when the podcasts like related to the actual thing that they were about. It only happened a few times, but
That was a good time. So now we're going to talk about Unknown Original. It's in Fast and Furious currently.
Which is closing in August.
Should we all just shrug at the camera? We don't know. It's not,
I mean, I don't.
Has anyone heard any rumors?
No rumors, but do you guys have like a wish? What would you like to see?
You can work with this now. It's unknown. What do you want to see out of that?
Mm-hmm.
I really want to see a Candyland Scary Tales. But I don't. It's something they haven't done in a while, or something we haven't seen them do.
I'd like to see another crack at like an underwater house.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking like Dead Man's Pier, more like Depths of Fear-esque underwater house. Because that kind of it missed the mark for me a bit. So I think giving it another go, I'd appreciate that, seeing one that I truly enjoy.
I don't think they would ever do it again, but I would like to have another like military themed house. Kind of like Blood Prey, but maybe set in a different military conflict.
Mm-hmm.
But cool. I don't think they would do it again.
Yeah, probably
I
not.
don't think they would ever do that again.
No.
This brings up something interesting that we didn't mention yet, and that there are only 4 IPs on this map. Boo, I want an IP there.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like a mega. I don't know if it's a mega IP house, but yeah, something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
If they're closing it earlier, I don't know what they're gonna do with that space, but.
And I will say this would be the first, not that it's been used very often, but the first original that's ever been in this house location.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Well, recently.
Well,
we've
in
never,
the Fast and Furious.
Yeah, we've never had.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true because the other was
Disaster.
We're not counting
out
that.
quite a bit.
H&R. I was going to be like H&R Blood. That's what's it taught.
But that was
Zombie
inside.
Gang.
That's
Zombie
where
Gang,
the
baby.
gift shop is.
Hell Block 2. No, we're moving on.
This is why you're not here. No, I'm kidding, Jonathan.
Hotline. They sure could fit a lot of HHN houses inside that Fast and Furious building. Oh yes, maybe if they close it permanently, we can get like that black box space you're getting in Hollywood, and then just
Maybe it'll
shove
never,
a few houses in there.
It'll never open again. We can maybe if we all just manifest it, starting August, whatever date it closes, that it just never opens again. It will be a permanent HHN mega space.
Yeah,
because they don't care.
Permanent tribute store, so the mummy people can stop complaining.
My face froze on that comment when you put it up on the screen.
Hell Block underwater. That's not what I meant when I said underwater.
Isn't it just Depths of Fear?
Ooh, damn.
I didn't hate Depths of Fear, but it was a little silly.
My first run of Depths of Fear was great as fuck.
Oh no, I will not disagree. It was great until the costume started killing the actors.
I didn't like the Malpru design in the first place, so
I love the goofy
never a fan. Mike, I know this is going to resonate with you. Me personally, for Unknown Original, I would love a Japanese horror original based on the symbol yin and yang.
Mm-hmm.
I know you are very excited for the potential of that Japanese
original.
Yeah,
that one was really sad when that one didn't come together. I'm still holding out hope for like a Japanese or an Asian themed house. I think we'll get one eventually.
I hope so.
We finally got a Zodiac Zone after how many years of it being a rumor?
It was rumored so long.
For years.
Wasn't the rumors it was going to be like a Japanese Salem witch trial type thing, that they had their own Salem witch trials?
I think there was something that sounds
similar.
Oh, that'd be really cool actually.
Yeah.
Shit. One day. If they could do a Hellblock-esque house that wasn't revamped of a backed out IP, so basically just do Hellblock, but all out. Land from the original. I think Hellblock could have been a very cool concept had they had time to flesh it out.
The problem is it was very cabin in the woodsy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just like the last
monster.
In a doorway, monster in a doorway.
It is unique that it was with mostly things we've seen at Horror Nights previously.
And it also kind of felt like at least we originally it was going to be pitched. It was going to be kind of like a throwback house, like an Easter egg house, right? It was if we went full that, where we got like a room and then or something just a lot more Easter eggs.
Yeah. Also, if we got areas other than just cells in the prison, like the mess area or wherever the commons, maybe the prison yard, If we got actual like prison spaces and it wasn't just like, here, don't look over here. This wasn't something else 2 weeks ago. It was very that. And it was just, here's a box, here's a box, here's a box. Here's Old Smoky. Don't look over here. It's another box. So like, I can see that if we actually get like real sets.
Yeah.
But the facade was good, was pretty cool. I'll give them that. I thought the hell block, not the H. I'm not talking about the H, Jonathan.
H is
Before
in the
you-
chat. No, this is in Discord, damn it.
Before you even start, I'm not talking about the H. That's not the facade. The inside with the prison guard that stopped running out of us eventually. But
Speaking of Jonathan, he brings up a good talking point, and that's that Alicia Stella was theorizing that this location might actually hold a weekend house this year. And that is something that we've talked about previously. It's kind of been shot down. Alicia Stella is really sticking to her guns that Weekend will have a presence in Orlando this year and not just Hollywood, as is now being speculated.
I think it kind of makes sense. I mean, if we're going to get an IP as big as The Weeknd, why not have him on both coasts? So if he's going to be over at Hollywood, why not try to get him there instead of put an original? I think the logic's there, but the rumors are not there, other than Alicia Stella.
Yeah, she at this point is really the only one, and like really digging her heels in. Like, yeah, I'm just saying. I know everyone will say no, but and I don't know if she's still fully on board that it's a house specifically or that it's just him coming to the event in some way. But
Stella. I just wanted to do that.
been waiting for your moment.
Yeah.
All right.
Time I can do dumb theater stuff.
So let's move on. Let's head back over to the sound stages and finish off those locations where we now have a very recognizable hair piece.
yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
On top of the female gender symbol.
Let's fucking go.
Austin Powers meets the Bride of the Month.
The Bride of the Mummy. Sorry, Eugene just mentioned the WrestleMania theme, and I can't. I was not commenting on The Weeknd, and now I'm looking at it. Female monsters.
Yeah. Obviously,
That'd be
it's
cool.
directing to that in some way. And it's not just bride, because then why would you put the symbol
sign.
under the hair?
Right.
What's the
Right.
point, you know?
So is it Scream Queens like Hollywood had, it was some already female characters and then gender bent other ones. I think there was like the Mummy's daughter was in there, not his bride. It was Dracula's brides, the Bride of Frankenstein from The Bride of Frankenstein Lives.
Dracula's daughter was.
I want to say it was his brides because they were in the house. So it was like them from that, because this was like an extension of the house, right? So it was like La Llorona or like Monstrous.
That
like
scares
the-
on outside. basically.
Yeah. So it was coming out of Bride of Frankenstein Lives. You had Silver Scream Queens?
Silver Scream Queens.
Yeah, which with a Z, which is a really cool name. I love that. I think that we could get better merch than Wicked Divas, and I see that in the chat. We are not going to call it that. Scream Queens would be great. I also saw someone called it something else on Twitter, and I wish I saved it, but it was Universal Monsters something. Oh, I don't know. Maybe someone else saw it, but it wasn't Scream Queens, but it was something to do with the female monsters. This could be fucking cool. We could also get Victoria Frankenstein.
She Wolf of
Yeah.
London.
I want Victoria
There we go.
Frankenstein, which, if you don't know, is basically going to be the lead character, if you will, of the Dark Universe.
It'd be a great way to introduce her, even if it's. I just got chills. Oh my god! Just thinking about
so
that gave me chills.
Dark Universe is back. Like it's on.
Well, for Epic,
Oh
Yeah.
she's like
for Epic Universe.
literally
Yeah,
the
thought
one
you-
guiding us through
I
that.
thought you meant the movie.
No,
Oh.
for Epic Universe, to clarify.
Yeah, I think that introducing her, even if they did it like how they did with the icons the last weekend before, was it Sweet 16?
That would be good timing.
And 15, like before Sweet 16, then they put them in the, what was that pop-up zone? What
And
year?
19.
19, sorry. Even just doing that, like the final weekend, we just get like, who's that? And it's Victoria. And you're like, oh, okay.
That'd be fucking cool.
I don't know.
I'd be into that.
I know nothing. This is all speculation as someone who loves the monsters and is obviously a female.
I believe regarding Silver Scream Queens.
Well, if John
one of the
liked
goats in
it,
Hollywood
I will
for
love it.
zones.
So, good taste.
Eugene.
Slim
Agreed.
Pickens over there.
I
Slim
will
Pickens, I have to say.
probably get very emotional walking through this house the first time and the last time, if this is what is being speculated.
Wasn't gender bent Universal Monsters brought up at one point? Oh yeah, a few
Mhm.
points. We've discussed it a few times, I believe, on the show now at this
Mhm.
point. That might be the most likely, honestly, at this point.
Like the gender swap.
Yeah, exactly. So literally just taking the Mummy, Wolfman, all the characters, and literally just changing their gender.
Yeah. It'd be kind of cool to see if we actually did that, like a male, like a I guess a groom of Frankenstein or whatever.
Mhm.
I don't know. That'd be kind of cool.
I'd be into it. I think whatever it is, I'm down for the concept. It sounds like it's going to be very cool regardless.
And having monsters in the front of the park again is going to be insane.
Mhm.
Like it's going to be so weird to me, especially in the I guess where we would enter in the music plaza, like Exorcist. That's not going to feel right. I mean, Bride was up there obviously, but like that's not going to feel right from the last couple of years at all.
All right, so let's move on, and we can head over to the tents now, where we have 4, obviously. We'll take an actual look at those tents later. But let's start with the tent we're all familiar with, which is Sprung Tent 1, which was previously a Minotaur. That has shifted quite a bit at this point, where it appears to be a museum exhibit with, I believe, the Eye of Horus or hieroglyphics of some sort.
Sure.
So Greek to Egyptian.
Yes.
And now like a
In a
museum
museum.
exhibit instead of just general.
So maybe we also get some Greek in there.
That
Devil Greek.
in the episode that comes out, I think we talk about that. We were like, there could be Greek, there could be Roman, there could be Egyptian, it could be everything.
It could be throughout an entire museum and
It could be
not
art.
just
Yeah. Modern art coming to life would be terrifying if you think about it. Like big, huge modern sculptures. Think about like the big balloon dog sculpture for Night at the Museum too.
Yeah.
When it's like squeaking.
And Night at the Museum has kind of been the one thing brought up by everyone as like what you can compare this speculation to, like a horror Night at the
Scary
Museum.
Night at the Museum.
Yeah.
Which I would be extremely down for. That would be creative. You can go so many different directions with it, and it just feels like one of those concepts where it can really put you in the driver's seat, and you are the main character of this story. So sounds like fun.
I tried to make my daughter watch Night at the Museum recently. Thumbs down from her. She did not like it.
Really?
Did not hold her interest. No.
Dang, the Jonas Brothers in the second one, they played cherubs.
Oh, maybe I need to keep going.
I mean, I don't know. She's a little young to know about the Jonas Brothers. But
A museum curator accidentally unleashes a cursed monster while researching. It's fun.
did Boris not have a museum story in Case Files? Wasn't there?
Yeah, it was a museum.
What
right?
if this was a museum?
That is true. It could be Boris related potentially. And we've had a lot of chatter of Boris coming back in general from not real rumors, but more just speculation and wants.
Definitely wants.
More wants than anything.
I mean,
I'll
we
take
all.
Boris anytime.
Oh, I love Boris. I just listened to Take On Me Today at work too. I always think of Boris when I hear that.
And we're not the only ones who brought that up. Boris having new case files.
Happy.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. The Hollywood Coast for Legends had museum theming. It did.
It did. The part 2.
I don't love how it worked out, but it did.
We just kind of kept jumping from place to place. I kind of forgot we were in a museum at one point.
All right, so let's move on to Sprung Tent 2, where this used to be the black and white skull, specifically the one from Tribute to Terror, the comic logo, is now just a black and white house.
Just a house.
Just a house.
So I'm going to take a guess. The speculation or the rumor here is that the house will be in black and white.
Black and white house.
Wild guess.
Will it be a haunted house stuff?
No.
Oh, okay. It's just gonna be a regular house, but there's no color. I will say, let's talk about the black and white thing for a second, because that is not an easy task to do, even with the airbrushes that they use for HHN. It still is going to take a couple minutes to fully get someone. The costuming is going to be really important, because if they are showing any skin, they're going to put them in some kind of spandex bodysuit. Because if
Still
not,
heavy, probably.
oh yeah, they're gonna look like the Grimoire from last year at Knott's, and their makeup was significantly worse than the year prior. Not the Grimoire. Is it the it is the Grimoire. Trying to forget that house. Grimoire. But that they did not paint anyone's back of their neck, at least opening weekend when we went, And it was immediately taking me out because they would turn and like the backs of their hand would be pink or whatever their skin tone was. And they're in full grayscale. And that was like a good chunk of the house. So I know HHN's not going to do that, but I pray for these actors because they're going to be hot in August in full, like, think about like a morph suit. That's what they have to wear if they're showing skin. And if not, they're in like sweaters. And if it's 1950s, they're in little like dresses and peacoat. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it's going to look so good.
Grimoire was such a fucking weird house.
So weird.
So the first time going through it, just
I'm-
like nothing.
I'm glad everyone I know has had the same experience of saying, are we in the trenches?
Audibly said.
Like
every time.
out loud to someone else in the line.
Where are we?
What?
Are
I
we-
thought we were at a campground.
Going back to the Tribute to Terror, Black and White is a comic book house.
I would love that.
That would still be, even though they took away that like part of the hint.
I
I
hope
think it would be a cool
fingers
concept.
crossed, I hope
Regardless.
it's still there.
I think that might be the reason I'd want it to be black and white the most.
Do you think these are going to be okay? So if it's comic book house, we've had houses in the past that were ultra-violent comic book covers as the facade, as the entrance to the house. Is this going to be now the tribute to terror comics, or are we going to get another ode to ultra-violent? Because we had ultra-violent in the tribute store.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I would love to see at least an ode to it.
And
So-
here's something I've seen a lot from Wonderstruck Sweetie is that Blumhouse is what I see. The only thing I would say to that is once we go to the Hollywood map, we will
You know
actually
what
see
Blumhouse looks
the
like.
exact Blumhouse logo.
Mhm.
So I don't see why
Yeah.
they would choose to use it on one map, but then do something completely different on the other. Also,
It
this is
doesn't
an
say
original.
Original. It says original and it doesn't have the little
Yeah.
film canister.
Which things change, obviously, all the time. But I don't know. To me, it just looks like the American Dream house. 2.5 kids, a white picket fence. I think I called it the Leave It to Beaver house in the episode, but that's what it looks like to me. So I get the 1950s kind of thing.
I wonder if maybe like he started to not hear about kind of the comic book rumor. He said that he started to get worried about that one, but the black and white thing was so he's like, oh, I'm just gonna put black and white.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm not
Kinda
quite
like-
sure,
Not
Where
pulling
we
out
stand.
all the way, but
yeah,
committing to an aspect of it
committing
still.
to an aspect that he still because this is a strong rumor. The black and white was a strong rumor, but not necessarily he might just be holding on to that.
Well, you had a reaction to this one. I want to hear it 'cause I don't know what this means.
Benny and the Ink Machine is a video game, and it's really
Ah.
cool. It's creepy. I did have a reaction. It'd be cool. I just don't know how they get that like stylized character going. Wish we could like quickly pop. It's almost like I don't even want to say Disney animation, but like that's the kind of vibe it gives me. And he uses ink.
Oh,
I don't really know. I'm not educated in it, but I know like what it looks like, and I think the imagery is really cool.
what's that Mickey game where you go around and use the ink?
Oh.
Is that Epic Mickey? Or?
Epic
Mickey.
So it's kind of like
Oh my
Epic
God, the
Mickey, but it from what I gather, but it's like spooky, and there's something with like the ink has something to do with it. I don't know. It's bad. I think someone's trying to kill people or erase people. I don't know. Someone will explain it in the
Yeah,
chat
Mickey.
and be so mad at me.
Or let's get on John's level and talk about it, Doodle Bob.
I literally that's what I was like. I was like, tough Doodle Bob. Get the Doodle Bob comment.
I can see it. Sure.
Yeah. Oh, is it Nightmare on Elm Street?
I don't think so.
No,
I
because
remember
that
that.
house is so iconic. I feel like it doesn't look like that.
Yeah, and they literally took the hint for it off the map.
Yeah.
Rumors in
rumor.
general are starting to indicate not coming. With some people directly saying it was never coming.
Oh
so-
no, there are people that are dying on the hill of Freddy turns into a Cadillac in one of the movies.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So Cadillac is Nightmare on Elm Street, and I'm not making fun of people who think that because if you're right, that's a really good grab. But like also, I didn't know he turned into a fucking Cadillac. I think of Cadillac, I think of Ghostbusters. That's coming from a non-Ghostbusters fan. So
Wild take. Bly Manor. I don't know if I fully see the connection,
It's a house.
but also an IP though.
yeah,
And this is labeled as an original. And to bring Jonathan's takes in, I agree. It did not deserve to die. It would have been a great IP to see at the event this year.
especially
Nightmare on Elm Street, from what we're looking at right now, would have been my headliner by a mile. It wouldn't even be close. compared to the others.
This and female monsters would be just fighting for my attention all night, and then they're on opposite sides of the park, and I would have died. So
More Epic Mickey. It's needed.
I never played that game, but you really did like unlock a memory I didn't know I had.
I have
There you
played
go.
it.
Oh,
Epic Mickey
wait.
is about Mickey traveling the wasteland, the world of forgotten characters, including Oswald.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's.
That was like part of the Oswald comeback to Disney, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was. It was their attempt to bring
Yeah.
back Oswald.
But they also call the forgotten the thing that happens in Dreamlight Valley, which is the current video game that Disney has out
Mhm.
on the Switch.
Yep.
And it's like, I'm not saying we're getting this obviously, but an Epic Mickey would be cool. Also, maybe Epic Mickey is Dreamlight Valley now. So just go play Dreamlight Valley if you don't.
Yeah, definitely long overdue to come back. We haven't seen Freddy since 25, which isn't that long ago. But again, that was a Freddy versus Jason. We have not had an actual just Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy house since 2007. So,
Damn.
been a while. Been a while.
That was 10 years before I started going to the event.
A little more Nightmare on Elm Street love from Old Man E here. I think it's what everyone really wants.
Yeah.
Right? But good point at the end. If it makes way for a quality original, I will suck it up. And I will always have that take as well.
That's fair.
If I get a banger original out of not having an IP, I'll make that trade every day of the week. All right, let's move on to this since there's a comment about it. I mean, we have that popcorn up there that we didn't previously have.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
we
let's
do.
move up to tent 3, where we now have a box of popcorn. And
Let's all go to the
I'll start
lobby.
out with the
Are we singing again, Mike?
the less rumored of the two main ones, and that is going to be the Usher.
Let's all go to the
That would be dope.
Yeah. Or the more likely of the two, and the more discussed, a sequel to Slaughter Cinema,
Also dope.
which I'm ready for. I'm definitely ready for. Especially like seeing Cinema Slasher at Knott's last year, it kind of put me back into that vibe.
Mm.
And I'm like, yeah, I need some more Slaughter Cinema in my life for sure. Cinema Slasher filled the void for sure, 100%. But I'm ready for my Slaughter Cinema.
Yeah.
I would be worried. That's one of those properties like, what do you do from that point to top it or to at least reach that level? And I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's very unlikely, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was worried about Cinema Slasher too, but that was
Same.
like a perfect not
Oh.
take
Yeah.
on that style.
A
house.
worthy replacement for Dark Ride. The only thing I can see making sense to replace Dark Ride, but I just don't know where we go with it. Like kind of like what you said, Duff. I don't know because it took them so long to have so many, shitty ideas, is what I said in the episode that you guys will hear next week or whatever at this point. But I don't know who said it on the episode that we recorded, but somebody said, what if it's all sequels to houses we love from the past instead of it being ideas we never saw?
Hmm.
I think that could be really cool. What if it's shitty sequels of really, well loved houses? Like I'm talking, let's go back to like Castle of Vampire. Let's go back to let's go see the Body Collectors. We haven't seen them in a while, but like maybe it's kind of like a B movie version of that. That would be really cool. But I worry that they're afraid to like tarnish the things we love by doing that.
Yeah. I got really excited for Welcome to Scary, and it let me down. So I would have a hard time getting excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know if you're just paying attention to the screen, but there was a ton of Slaughter Cinema 2 love.
yes,
Oh, I believe it.
Plenty of people.
bring it on.
Do you think not to say that either event kind of is worried about what the other one's doing? I know they are, but do you think that HHN would be deterred knowing that Cinema Slasher was so well received and is going to be at Knott's for at least 5 years?
Why would HHN Orlando be
That's what
worried
I'm
about
saying.
that?
That's what I said. I know, but
Maybe
like,
Hollywood was, but I don't think John
That's-
Murray pays attention to what
No.
Knott's does anyways. So
no, it's just something, I don't know, because Cinema Slasher, Slaughter Cinema, the names are close. They're both great houses.
Unlikely, but I can see where you're coming from.
But I feel like I would probably like Cinema Slasher. I can't speak because I haven't seen Slaughter Cinema 2.
oh
but-
yeah, it's true.
Cinema
Slasher's
Slasher.
a high bar. I think
Oh.
it's my favorite Knott's maze. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just edging out.
I have
Dark
less
Ride.
years, but yeah. Yeah, it's that. And then
I don't
Dark Ride.
remember if it was my favorite. I think it was too.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I know you also loved Waxworks too. Was that
I
maybe
did.
your favorite, or was it
No,
Slasher?
Jonathan's Waxworks was his favorite.
Ah,
I remember it was Waxworks with Jonathan's. I think the Cinema Slasher was my favorite.
as it should be. All right, and let's go to the last tent and the last house on the spec map, and that is going to be the new Sprung Tent 4, where we have a lantern. It took a little time from the release, but that is slowly picked up into being a confident answer for the community, which is Insidious.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yes. The 5th movie came out last year. I think we had to
Got
Google
some
that.
catching up to do.
Yep.
Yeah, I've definitely seen 1, 2, and 3, and the 5th one is a direct sequel to 2.
Okay, so
So-
I have to watch it in that order?
Uh,
Not really, no. I should watch
I
it.
don't know if you
In
need to
order
watch
it
3
comes
and
out.
4 because I
You
don't
can
think
watch them in
they.
the order they come out.
I don't think 3 and 4 pertain to the
Yeah.
other 3.
I think it's skipped in the timeline.
Yeah, it
Okay,
does.
1, 2, 5, 3,
1, 2,
4.
5. Yeah, but I really like 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I need to see the new one, but I didn't see because Insidious had its own house too, right?
Yes, which
Did
is
not see that.
highly regarded as one of the scariest houses that has ever come to
Was that
HHN Orlando.
25.
Yes.
So my sister went
Mhm.
through it, and
Yeah.
she was a chicken back then, but I remember her saying she did not open her eyes once in
Yeah.
Insidious because it was that scary. That and Run were like really hard for her to get through. So, ooh, I'm gonna be scared. The red-faced demon scares me. I don't know if he's in this new one, but
Mhm.
the little Darth Maul guy is kind of creepy.
Insidious.
Yeah.
Insidious 2015 was awesome. Here we go. 1, 2, and 5 is the main
There we
thing.
go.
So that's
Okay.
basically what we were looking for. Perfect. I just want to go back a step here. Talking about the Usher again, which if he had a house, he probably would be the icon at
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
point, right? That's a good point. If this is true, it is very heavy movie theme vibes, even looking at some of these originals.
Yeah.
It's an interesting take. I don't think I would expect it at this point by any means,
Yeah.
but I'd be very down for it.
It'd be really cool. It'd be a pleasant surprise.
My only question then is, so if we're having this conversation, is this spec map is the event, where does the Usher fit with Major Sweets and Miss Sweets?
Well, I think at that point,
Or
it's
Major
not
Sweets?
they're not an icon,
Right.
And I think it's just we have plenty of icon years where they don't tie into every
Yeah.
house. It's typically the case, honestly.
Yeah. They have their
So-
house and that's it, and then maybe a zone or whatever.
So I would definitely lean more towards it being Major Sweets and Miss Streets or something else completely at that point. I don't know. I'd expect Usher or any of the legacy icons, if you will, to come back this year.
Yeah.
Oh, what you gotta say, Jonathan? I wish I cared at all about the first film. I think it'll make for a good house, but I don't have any attachment to the IP.
You're gonna get your shit rocked though, so
Yeah.
that's all that matters. So will I.
I know you always want them to bring back stuff that's going to scare you again. I think Insidious is definitely going to get you to jump a bit, Jonathan.
Tiny Tim playing in the background while he's jumping out between curtains sounds terrifying.
Huh? Candy and popcorn go together. Movie theater type vibes.
Yeah,
That's true. Oh, there we go.
Okay. They're in cahoots.
Mary watched the first Insidious the way Ashley went through the house.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think the movies were that scary, even like when I wasn't into like horror as deep as I am now. But I can see Mary hiding behind a pillow watching it.
can't wait for a spooky Usher confessions house.
So we're gonna have candy shop and compassion. No, these are my concessions. Thank you. Oh, they actually liked one of my puns for once.
Or am I just hamming it up for the camera?
No, I think you like that one because you would have went.
You're right. I would have.
Birthday sex house.
All right, we're moving
I
on.
gotta go.
So
It's your house.
Girl, you know I.
I didn't know you could move like that. Like, goddamn. Wow.
I think we all just woke up with that part.
I think everyone just left.
Well, the Jeremiah hate.
So we do have 5 scare zones still. All of them are still labeled as unknown, so not much to discuss there. An interesting thing to note is that on the previous map, we had 2 shows.
Mm-hmm.
That castle one that was in Animal Actors. It is now removed, and we just have what appears to be Nightmare Fuel back in the Fear Factor stage. So that kind of stinks to only have one show again.
Yeah.
Maybe a little too early for the Lagoon. You know, they just are getting out Thinnest Spectacular. There we go. Got it
They
out.
may not have had in the budget to get at this, the Halloween changeover.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would say at this point, I'd probably be honestly expecting it for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's looking like maybe not this year. And not having that end, getting rid of what could have been another stage show kind of stinks.
No White Castle.
No White Castle.
Harold and Kumar go to HHN.
And we'll talk about it, but it's also off the other coast. So yeah, there's nothing.
We're not getting Neil Patrick Harris like in person.
I agree, Tyler.
He can just stay. He can do HHN and then go to Candlelight.
No,
Well, I'll just live here.
Come on,
Yeah.
They can put him up in the castle suite for like 3 months. He'll be
exactly.
fine. They haven't got that kind of money. But no, I agree, Tyler. I just some kind of a musical show that obviously, Nightmare Fuel is the same, but like musical with comedy. And if I feel like either of those would have fit in Animal Actors, I don't know how well it would have probably stopped Animal Actors for 3 months, but the animals need a break. Are they getting compensated for their time?
Probably not. The
Yeah.
treats.
Give them a break.
Mary, can we get a 90s Nickelodeon Halloween episode mashup house? I'm going to say Nickelodeon's not in the best light at the moment.
Oh.
So they probably will
Too
not
soon,
be
Mary.
touching that.
Oh,
Are you afraid of the dark?
Even if it's just the Nicktoons, I think
Legends
they're going
of
to
the
stay away
Hidden
from
Temple.
Nickelodeon as a
Yeah.
whole.
we could have done that.
And I don't think it's happening regardless, but I would have liked it.
Hey, Dude House.
Harold and Kumar love.
It would have been so good.
Harold and Kumar show would have been extreme.
It would have been hosted by Neil Patrick Harris.
Jonathan has pointed out Alicia Stella has hinted that something related to Beetlejuice is currently rumored for H.
He's gonna be David S.
and-
Pumpkins this year, and I'm gonna be at the bar all night.
What if it's like a full Beetlejuice bar?
What is it?
Ooh!
David S. Pumpkin dressed. as
Beetlejuice at the Beetlejuice bar. Oh my god! Why would you wish that on my life?
That's when Jazz quits the book.
I'm done. I'm retiring at that point. You'll never hear from me again. I'll wear a wig every time I go to
I
HHN.
really want a Beetle bar. Not even lying.
It'll be called a Beetle Bar, and it'll just be Beetlejuice promos. Even though it comes out the second weekend.
Man, if we get a weekend scare zone, you know where I'll be every night. No need for express. We out here vibing. Just won't be.
No, okay. I did say on the podcast that I would not mind a zone
Mm-hmm.
because that fits the vibe to me. Like, I want to stand there with a Blinky Cup drink, just kind of vibing until one of the WrestleMania theme songs comes on, and then I'm out. She's out. Unless, because you know what's going to happen. He's going to be in New York, and I'm going to have no choice because the only smoking section is in New York now. Beetlejuice bar would be perfect.
People love the Beetlejuice bar idea.
I think that makes the most
It'll
sense.
be an idol scare.
Not at a Beetlejuice bar.
Oh, where is it? There we go. But
That one's
the
funny.
Beetlejuice bar.
I didn't know Beetlejuice was into like wellness now. He opened like an Herbalife storefront or something.
It's a wheatgrass.
You'd think it's mold, but it's just wheatgrass.
Interesting. Simpsons looks all bare. Maybe have the weekend bar there and keep the Peacock bar where it was.
The Peacock Beetlejuice bar.
Yes, yeah. Well, it wasn't Beetlejuice last year. so-
I know, but I'm saying Beetle Goose and the drink is Grey Goose. Sorry, I just saw another comment. I added the Grey Goose. Eugene said Beetle Goose. I kind of agree, but can they?
I don't. Probably not.
I don't think they can touch.
They're probably not allowed to put a
Simpsons.
separate theme
No, yeah.
in Simpsons because it's a property that is not theirs. They're leasing that property out.
Yeah. Just like we'll never get a treehouse.
But that basically sums up the Orlando version of the spec map. Any thoughts overall? If this is the event, how do you feel? A little underwhelmed
A
potentially.
little bit.
Feels like an
I
off
want
year.
to say that a little
Yeah.
bit.
I mean, the thing is,
Yeah.
all the houses could slap and be amazing. You never know, right?
Yeah.
But just looking at it and the hype levels, maybe a little lower than where you'd like them to be.
The originals are doing the heavy lifting. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. And we don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
Exactly, and those can very much change.
We're probably thinking of what the coolest concepts are.
Mhm.
So
And
like,
they're not always that.
Yeah.
They're not always that high level that we're like, what if it's this with this? And no, they're looking at it's a museum, guys. What is the theme? There is none.
yeah, at this moment,
33.
it's
Yeah.
going to be whatever the theme is. What the icon is probably at this point.
Where horror lives is not is what I hope
Yeah.
is the theme, but it is not. I don't know because we've gotten one shirt that is not going to be indicative
Pop
of
punk.
anything.
The theme is simple, plain.
Mary wants to know how we feel about Nightmare Fuel staying.
If I can watch it from the front row again,
That was pretty nice.
That, that was a really fun viewing.
Yeah, it was.
That was different.
Got some attention too.
Mm, bring our $1 bill.
Again, very
I felt like
talented.
we should have been.
Very talented. It's a fun watch.
Yeah.
I just want it to change a bit more than what they've been doing.
Maybe no more. Maybe like we wake up and we go about our day.
I'm ready for a full storyline.
Yeah.
Enough of the dreaming shit.
What if
Let's
she
do
wakes
something completely different?
or they wake up because it was we had two different. We had like a male and a female before, whatever. They wake up and now they think it's the nightmare's over, but their real life sucks too. And they're like, like I don't. I didn't mean like that. I meant like
2024 house.
I meant like someone was trying to kill them. The person that was trying to kill them in their nightmare was also trying to kill them in real life. But also,
it's 2024.
I promise I'm not suffering from depression. I'm so sorry. That sounded so.
You just scroll doom scroll Facebook.
It's just
That's all it is.
this is the
Just
show.
Doom scrolling Facebook. It's like
Ah.
everyone.
Aw. And then you put it down, you turn the TV on, and you
I
scroll.
can count on you for my vote right. Email number 17 of the day.
It's just the dreamer
I'm
reading post for poverty finance subreddit.
I think
How am I going to pay my bills?
I'm so sorry to the chat. They're probably all depressed now.
Reality's great. We're having a good time. We promise.
And like just fucking sucks.
So some thoughts on the overall lineup from the chat. Specifically Jonathan here. Met IPs, but the originals all seem really fun. It's not the most marketable year for sure. Yeah, that's true. Definitely a rough draft vibes, but excited for the final draft. Yeah, definitely. When we get the final event, it could look way better suddenly.
I have
Way better.
the dumbest thing to say that I think will make sense. This feels like the year the farthest away from 2 anniversary years. Like in the middle, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
equidistant from 2 different anniversaries. And sometimes you get a 28 situation where it knocks it out of the fucking park and it's a great year overall.
Mhm.
And sometimes you get like, and I'm not saying 27 was a bad year. I think it's very underrated. It was my first year, so I think I hold it a little higher than other people, but it had a lot of houses that carried it, and some of the IPs were meh. And that's okay because the event was still good. So maybe this is in a year like 27 where the zones help carry it, the zones and a couple originals and a couple IPs. We have to kind of set our expectations somewhere here right now and not all the way up here, even though it's Orlando.
We're
Could
going
be
to love it
A
regardless.
28 or it could be a 22.
Can you go get
You
the
never
last
know.
message, please?
Kind of starting to feel a little bit like 22.
It's sad that Five Nights at Freddy's and Nightmare on Elm Street aren't there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I agree on one of those properties. I do agree that we are missing that big IP potentially, right? Please no more Nightmare Fuel rehash. Give us some comedy. I'm a huge proponent of having that comedic relief as a show
Yeah.
at the event. I
We
think that's a
need it.
huge missing aspect for the overall event, for sure.
Yeah.
It's 2024. Let's give us something to laugh about.
Can we be awake now?
That's what I'm saying. Can we wake the fuck
Right.
up? Like the alarm went off, girl. Come on. You're late for work.
Nightmare Fuel is an afternoon delight.
Just know, what did I do? What did I
You're
do?
getting,
Oh,
you're getting
with-
a lot of.
Oh, it was when I said, and then you wake up and life
Oh.
sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah, she brought us that. Debbie
I'm
Downer.
sorry.
too real.
Oh no, Mary. Just the show is actually the show that was in Hollow Screen San Diego.
Oh,
Yes.
No.
And then you wake up and life fucking sucks.
That show was
Remember when they came down the stairs just fucking banging for like 10 minutes?
somehow the best part of the show.
Oh my
Chucky's
God.
scroll kill count.
No, thank you.
Here's a legit question. Now we don't have to talk about life sucking. How do you think the new parade will affect Scare Zone construction? Massively.
Yeah.
You aren't going to be able to put out those. The past 2 years, we've seen the permanent large props they put out for the Scare Zones. Those are going to have to be taken out every single night now.
Mm-hmm.
So they aren't going to be able to have as many of them as they do. It's going to be on a smaller scale for sure. So we're going to go back to pre HHN 31 Scare Zone propage.
And Stay and Scream might take a little bit longer. We might not get released early as often as we did in the last couple of years. Because I feel like a lot of the areas would release you earlier than planned because they're going to need that time to turn the park over now because all of these things are going to have to be brought out on, whatever equipment machinery needs to be brought out on.
HHN 33, the middle child.
When I saw that pop up, it's literally, it's not 30, it's not 31 with its Halloween theme.
Kelly, being that this would be only my second year going if I were to attend, I'm still keeping an open mind throughout the spec season, and that's what everyone should do, to be completely honest. Remember, it is speculation. Some of this is going to be correct, but even the stuff that's right, we don't know what it means. They're all still just symbols. Yeah. So if you aren't loving it, it could look way different in a month.
And things can change. They can lose things. They can things can happen in the world that can affect it. Like,
sometimes the middle child turns out to be the overachiever.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Mike asks, are we talking about Orlando? We're basically wrapping up our Orlando talk, and we're going to move on to Hollywood in just a few minutes here.
We're trying to.
Let's see. Ooh. I also don't see how some of these would tie into food like last year.
Yeah, what do you do for A Quiet Place?
I want to say Jonathan has a theory about this.
Really?
Jonathan, if you have a theory about what the nickname for Quiet Place making sense, let us know in the chat, please.
Is this a code names?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought.
Are we going back to corn on the cob? Because that conversation we had.
Like actual food items.
No. I thought we were talking about.
Are we talking about actual food? Oh, we might be.
I think it's food. Because I think like the food items that are available. That's what I took it as, not
that makes more sense.
Yeah, I wasn't taking it as the code name.
I don't think it was the code name because we've talked about the code names before.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, we didn't get like a s'more or anything for Ghostbusters last time, right? I'm pretty sure we didn't.
I don't think so.
So like, why the fuck didn't we do that? And 29? Yeah, we were doing food. Yeah.
One of them codenames was definitely baklava. So like,
and that's currently where the museum is. Yeah.
So maybe there is a little bit of Greek.
Can still. We can dive into the Minotaur lore again if we want
baklava.
To. Is there? Oh, is there?
Pretty popular.
Oh, I guess.
Okay. All right. Any copium for what you want to see? I'm at a copium. I don't know. I just let it happen at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
like copium.
Oh, okay. I'm like
coping.
Gotcha. Okay. Like that's a new word for me.
All right. So before we move on from Orlando, let's take a look at what we can actually see in Orlando currently. And that is the 2 new Sprung tents, courtesy of BioReconstruct. Go follow him on Twitter. Gets all these great photos of Universal, Disney, all the great aerial shots.
All the epic construction. You can see test rides going. It's
crazy. But these are the 2 new Sprung tents, number 3 and number 4. In this shot on the top, you're going to see Sprung tent 1 and 2, kind of the top right up there. And if you look at the scale here, these are massive.
Big
I don't have the dimensions on me, but you can also look at the permits themselves, and they are quite a bit larger than the old Sprung tents. Also, quite a bit taller. Let's take a closer look.
They're huge.
Damn. They are massive.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a 2-story building, at least in there.
We're talking more like what you would get space-wise out of what they do with the Parade Warehouse.
That's like a Coachella tent right there.
It's like the DJs in there like...
Yeah.
Like they're literally...
I saw some Daft Punk in one of those son of bitches.
Can you go back to the last picture? I just want to ask a question. Yeah. So you see the big rectangle between the 2 different sets of tents, the big one? Is that the storage area, like where they put the pallets and stuff?
Between the tents?
Yeah, that like right to the right of the top.
Are you talking about the old tents or new tents?
Okay, no, I'm not talking about that. You see the top new tent,
Uh-huh.
the rectangle to the right of it, that big one. Is that the storage like flat area?
Oh.
Because it's as big as that,
It is as big as that.
just taller.
It's huge.
So if that's where they store, if that's what I think it is, that's where they store the holiday decorations
Yeah.
when they come out.
Yeah.
That shit is fucking
That
big.
is, I see what you're saying. That
And
is
now that is the size
and
of
I mean,
it.
you can also compare it to like just how far this walk is, right?
Yeah.
So from the bottom right corner, when
Oh,
you
yeah.
turn and come up, that's how you currently get to Sprung Tent 1. You can literally gauge the distance of when you see the trailer versus when you see that warehouse.
Mhm.
Those are where the tents are.
That's crazy.
They are massive.
They're so big. The walk is so big.
It is, yeah. They did release a permit recently about basically structuring walkways to here. So there will be a more kind of permanent way to get to them. So it's not just going to be fully tossing whatever you can anywhere. I would expect they're going to build something like what we had for Last of Us last year in that space. Obviously not guaranteed, but would make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, these things are crazy. They definitely seem like a pretty comparable replacement to the parade warehouses rather than just being sprung tents. And then just another angle over here to show you again.
Yeah, they're the
scale.
same size. I wish I would have waited for this one. It's the same size as the storage pad, or what I'm calling the storage pad. I don't know what that actually is, but that's crazy.
This is also making me notice. Someone please pressure wash Sprung Tent 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, they're no. Well, they thought they were going to be down how long ago?
I mean, yeah, it's been 17 years now. 16 years.
It needed to go
18
pressure
years.
wash.
I think it's 18. Yeah,
years. Wow.
that's crazy.
Nice tents.
We do kind of sound insane right now. We're like, well, look at those tents. Tent Watch 2024.
If we ever had a 2-story house, that would be wild. Extremely unlikely, but could you imagine?
Castle Vampire had
Yeah.
stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was another one too, 2022. Dead something.
Wait, what year?
What's it?
2022.
2022.
22.
No, 22.
Oh,
not yet.
HHN 22. Oh, okay.
HHN 22 had stairs.
Stairs were
I'm
in.
pretty sure.
Did it?
I'm going to Google.
I think so.
Stairs?
Think it had 2 levels.
Dead end?
Dead end. Dead end had stairs.
Did you go up them?
I think you did. Unless I'm crazy. I'm pretty sure you went up them.
Oh man, you might be right. I don't remember going upstairs. Did they have it closed when I did it or something? Because obviously they had to have a
Did you only do that once?
once or twice, yeah.
I think it may have had a
I think I only went 1 year. Or no.
One time.
I went 2 nights. 2 nights, sorry. Huh.
I think Dead End had stairs.
You might be right.
Look it up.
While they look that up, the main point here, it'd be hard to make it accessible, though. It definitely would. Obviously, you'd have to have some sort of separate path, but I think they don't want to take an additional experience away from someone because of that situation.
The wiki does not have anything about stairs. There is an actor on stairs, but I feel like the wiki would say something about.
Maybe you didn't go up. I know
Maybe.
it had stairs.
It definitely had stairs. I just don't remember going up. Ramps would be what I'd imagine if it did go up. It would definitely work more. But still, if it would go up to a second level, I don't think it's something they would actually do. It's still an ADA issue, regardless.
Yeah, you can't.
I swear you went upstairs.
I wasn't there,
probably
so I
knows way
believe
better
you.
than me.
Yeah, anyone
Someone
in
who
the chat
doesn't
know.
have a terrible memory.
I know Castle Vampire, you went upstairs. I know that there was also it's not stairs, but the alien, I think it was an alien house where you went down a slide into a ball pit.
I mean, in the past, they've done some
they've done crazy
definitely
shit.
done stairs.
crazy
Yeah.
things that they will never touch ever again.
Someone asked about the queue layout for the tents, and we kind of went into that on the podcast. I'm probably going to walk around the new parade building to exit, I would assume, for sure.
Well, the permits kind of show you where it'll go,
Okay.
which is kind of almost up the gut, like between the tents. That's
Are
kinda
we going
where-
to call that the tent gut?
They're gonna move like the trailers that are there and all that in the storage containers and
Yeah.
all that shit. How they will route you in and out,
That's up to
you
them.
can't tell. Obviously, that's different. But basically, a lot of this space here is going to become space that's used for queues, likely for both sprung tents.
Yeah.
I assume they will utilize that space not just for the new ones, for the old ones as well.
This is probably going to be like a situation where the 2 new ones enter by MIB, by the old MIB tent. And then you kind of are just entering into a house queue and then split off for express later on down the road. Kind of like Last of Us. That's what I kind of see happening, at least. Because there's not enough space for 4 queues over there. It's going to have to be like you're walking. And then once you get there, like Last of Us, it's like, oh, you have express? Go that way. For all the lines.
It'll be interesting to see. There's many ways they could take it. I'm just happy that there's going to be a bunch of dedicated queue space back there. That'll be very nice.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't smell like Last of Us. They weren't Boeing last year, but they were stinky after it started raining.
They smelled. All right. We ready to move on to Hollywood spec map?
Let's go. Let's do it.
There it is. So let's really quick just go through the things that are exactly the same as Orlando's.
A lot of differences.
Yeah, there are a lot of differences. You can see the Cadillac logo is still there, which Ghostbusters, which kind of leaning Frozen Empire at this point. You have the Latin America.
We're sharing an original, which doesn't happen often.
No, yeah, that is different. I do wonder
if
if it's
a
a
different theme.
different theme. A Quiet Place, still there. The No Silence, No Sound logo. And then also the bride hair on top of the female gender logo. So yeah, those are exactly the same. We kind of discussed those already. So we'll go through the other ones first, and then if anyone still wants to discuss those further, we'll come back to those. So
Where do we start?
Where do we want to kick off?
The actual Blumhouse?
The actual
Yes.
Yeah. So like we talked about earlier, there are a lot of people who have said that Sprung 10, 2 in Orlando,
The black and white.
the black and white house could be Blumhouse. However, on this map, you see the exact Blumhouse logo, leading us to believe that if they're saying Blumhouse, they're saying Blumhouse.
That's a 2-story house.
That is a 2-story house.
The one on the Orlando spec map is a 1-story house.
It's the Terror Tram, first of all. So this is not a house.
Yeah.
It is the Terror Tram. So could this mean we get a Blumhouse mashup? Could it just be a single Blumhouse property?
Yes. To both. I don't know. I can't tell you what John Murdy's thinking all the way in Ireland.
I miss the original Terror Tram already.
I miss Larry. He's not on this map at all.
Give me an original Terror Tram concept.
Although, who says Larry can't be in the one we'll get to later? I'm gonna hold out hope that he's in hell or something. But it's fine. They also they're redoing a bunch, or they just redid a bunch of it. The War of the World set just got zhuzhed up again, and I know the Bates Motel got a facelift, but the tram is having a struggle right now.
Yeah,
over in Hollywood. So we'll put her in our well wishes because she is struggling.
Larry Larva is in.
Have you seen what happened?
No.
Well, so they were debuting the 60th, the Glamour Tram again this week or last week, and there was an accident where the tram hit a guardrail and a bunch of people got injured and thrown out.
Crap.
And then there was going into the earthquake section, the tram doors started closing, or the door to the thing started closing on the tram.
Oh no.
And it got stuck. So they were just kind of like not having the tram for a couple days.
Tram's definitely 60 years old. That's for sure.
Yeah, that you don't take any chances when it comes to that tram.
Yeah. And I do want to jump back real quick just because this comment. Edward 40 Hands challenge at the new tent lines.
They better have porta potties out there. They better have porta potties out there. Or
if they don't challenge, not accepted.
It's gonna be extra stinky over there. It's gonna be terrible. Oh my god. They better have porta potties everywhere if we're walking all the way from the absolute back corner of the park.
Hollywood always has more IPs. Yes, yeah, very typical that they will have.
Yes.
In fact, I don't know if there's a single year where they have not had more, or at least the same amount.
Maybe not last year, but the year before, because they lost almost a Walking Dead, Evil Dead, and it went to an original.
We're kicking Jonathan off to this, right? Imaginary Terror Tram.
I was about to make an imaginary joke.
Oh. Sorry, I stole your.
I was going to say Larry Larva was in the deleted scenes of Imaginary.
I still haven't seen the film, actually. I'm
Same.
sure about how I didn't watch it.
I need to see Abigail too.
If you don't know, Chauncey and Imaginary is one of our Discord mod Ouija's favorite favorite things on earth.
Mm.
So it's a little Discord reference there if you want to join our server. Link is going to be in our link tree attached to our
Bangers
profile.
of the day. Those still going
Bangers of the
on?
day.
Still every-
Inconsistently, but they're happening.
Okay.
But they're
That
happening.
makes them
I
make them
also
even more
miss
bangers.
Harry.
Where is it? There it is.
I also miss
Yeah.
Harry Alex. He was fun.
If they put FNAF for Terratram, logistics, I don't know. I think it would be a little too popular
Yeah.
if they put Five Nights.
How would that work? Because it all takes place in, well, okay, at least from what I know, at least the movie all takes place in the pizza place.
Yeah, I don't know anything beyond the film.
And it's outside.
And if it's Blumhouse, it's about the film, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mary's comment.
I just realized your background is cosplaying the Hollywood hallways.
Black Wall. This is exactly what
Wow.
Unmasked looked like. This was the hide and seek section. It's just hide popping through the curtain.
Chauncey has entered the chat. Chauncey can leave the chat.
Bye, Chauncey.
All right, so I did realize there is one under that we missed that was also on Orlando, the Lantern, which we discussed being insidious.
Yes.
Have we talked about that?
I'm saying in this one. I
For
didn't
this one.
mention
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I did not mention. So let's go to the glaring one, literally glaring off glasses. There must be some blinding lights on those glasses because it looks like The Weeknd may be making a return as a house in Hollywood. Jess is ecstatic, as you can
Is
see.
it going to be Dawn FM?
It could be. That would make a ton of sense.
What are the glasses from, Mr. Weekend?
I mean, the blinding lights.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I think he's just saying
Okay.
the Weeknd more than anything specific.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. How we feeling? The Weeknd making a return in a
Well,
house.
This is a WWE house because he's had the last 5.
No.
I'm totally fucking. I'm just trying to not talk about the weekend.
You mean Dawn FM? I think it would be a cool house.
What's the
When
difference
did
between
the
Dawn
Weeknd turn
FM?
into David Pumpkins?
When I had to
I think
listen
before
to,
David Pumpkins.
Oh,
existed.
really?
yeah,
Oh,
but because it was more of like the culmination of all the WrestleManias I've ever been to have used a weekend song. And when you're in the crowd, they
and they
don't.
just like turn it on loop.
Yeah, when it's on commercial break or like in between when they're showing like backstage promos, they're not mixing in other things. That's like just the
okay.
pre-show. So it's literally like all I heard was Blinding Lights, all I heard was Save Your Tears, all I heard was Less Than Zero, all
Makes
I heard was
sense.
Gaslight. And it was like, and then going into HHN 31, it was just the same fucking 5 songs were in the house, and they pulled all the extra songs I loved. And I was like, I loved the house, but then I was like, I need a break. And then he got the next fucking theme song, and then he got this year's theme song.
I can relate to that. When I worked at Bahama Breeze, it was all murder she wrote. Murder she wrote.
And you probably cannot listen to that. I
actually do
love-
actually like that. So,
Like, I think he's a great artist. I just can't right now. Like, I can't.
And on the screen, you can see the 365 polar opposite opinion.
I know.
Let's go.
And I know y'all hear me talk about it all the time. I will still give it a fair shot. I'm still going to go out and have a good time in it because it's a haunted house. Like, I'm just going to talk shit going into it.
I have a feeling half of 365 fam will be very mad since Weekend would be exclusive to Hollywood. I think I'm one of the two being implied as half, probably. And I wouldn't be very mad. I have no problem with it being an exclusive to Hollywood because I'll go to Hollywood anyways.
yeah, I'll be mad because I'm probably not going to be able to get there this year.
Yeah.
That's what.
I'm mad I'm going.
We need it in Orlando. Well,
I think
you need to be on the Alicia Stella
It
hype
doesn't
train
make sense
then, because
to get it over there and not do it.
I wouldn't mind a zone.
make
I think that the zone is the way I want to see it. Because I liked the house that we had. I'm just going to stop talking. Am I right in Hollywood?
Damn, am I riding with you to Hollywood then? Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly what's happening. 100%.
We're just taking a field trip. Everyone's parents need to sign the permission slips.
Let's not see what I can do. I'll be
I'm like,
there.
have
Don't
we
worry.
not gone the last 2 years? Like, well, you longer, but
I think that was maybe about the singing.
Well, the Murder She Wrote song.
Murder, She Wrote.
They call him Murder.
You have that, and I have Save Your.
Can we get music other than the weekend?
That is what I'm saying.
I
He's
mean-
opened up this amazing door.
We've already had music. I mean, it's not a brand new thing.
But like for now.
It'll only be the second time.
But there's a lot of people that the weekend is the only music house they've seen.
Okay.
Like-
well, other stuff can come eventually. I don't think people were like, "Oh man, Alice Cooper again."
No.
Jesus, oh man, wow.
No, people were like Alice Cooper.
No more Alice Cooper.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they said that.
Yeah, I'm sure it happened.
Yeah.
It's strange that the weekend
This
doesn't
is
have
weird.
House in Orlando.
Nerd, she went out singing. Like, why is this karaoke night?
We need to. That's our next description.
But it's just gonna be another way out.
It's gonna be Bahama Breeze playlist.
And no weekend.
The zone would be so fun to dance through, and I could dance with the lizard boy. Look.
I don't think it's with the lizard boy.
So I'd be very down for a weekend house in Hollywood, and I also wouldn't have an issue if it was a Hollywood exclusive. So there's my take on it.
You think it's gonna be a different house or the same one?
I think it would be. I don't know.
Yeah, Hollywood could repeat
Yeah,
it.
they could. It wouldn't be the first time, that's for sure.
I think I would be even more upset if I had to see the same house I saw in Hollywood, which was not as good as ours. It wasn't bad, but
I just want to be slush, sipping on a double Jack and Coke blinky cup, vibing in some scare zone. My wife loves feeding me pizza.
oh,
Feeding me pizza fries at the end of the night. I think.
that's a whole mood.
Yeah. Take out the Coke, and I'm good.
I'm telling you, if this is in New York, I'm gonna die. If the zone is in New York,
You will have a great time. You'll
I'm
be
just gonna
drunk,
be
and you will vibe.
smoking and drinking.
It'll be the best.
I hear the same 5 songs from WrestleMania.
All right, so let's move on over to where you see a little piggy.
Wink, wink.
Oink oink. This is an IP. It is a pig. The main things I've heard are Saw,
Mhm.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Knowing Universal in Hollywood or HHN, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a very frequent visitor
Yeah.
to their event. And
Makes
anytime it pops up, I tend to believe it.
Yeah,
I'm going to go that way.
Hollywood likes the return IP.
Mhm.
They don't like to dig too deep into their warehouse.
Yeah.
This is only a few rows back.
That's why I think the weekend coming back would be a
It is.
repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess I could see, like, they've done Saw recently, so that's fine. Whatever. Saw is like the horror movie that scares the shit out of me, so that house is always gonna kill me. I don't want that.
And obviously, we just had Saw 10 come out,
Mhm.
Saw X, and this pig's eyes, I believe,
Our ex
are X's.
kind of like in The Mask.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So, very possible. However, Fright Nights currently has a Saw house
yeah,
at Magic Mountain,
it's not very
Mm.
good.
but that's still potentially an
Yeah.
issue with getting the IP, right?
Yes.
Is it just at Magic Man? I thought it was at multiple Six Flags. Saw in the Conjuring.
Might have, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Georgia had it. So we could go see it.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Saves money on
Wonder
forklift
Struck,
fuel.
Sweetie brought it up. Saw was at Six Flags, yep.
And they just had it. I think they did Saw and Conjuring again for the spring break screen thing. I think.
It's gotten better. At Screen Break, I guess.
Oh,
I'll take your word for
all
it,
right.
Jonathan. My favorite, Old McDonald Farm.
Okay.
No.
I did see. I don't know why that just made me think of it, but I did see someone say, "What if it was Carrie because they pour pig's blood on her?" I didn't see that here, but I saw that on Twitter.
Oh, Just Saw is at multiple Six Flags.
Or is just Saw gotten better?
Oh, or Just Saw. Well, what Conjuring was it at Spring Break?
I don't know. Probably. I don't. Saw has gotten better.
At Six Flags.
We're trying to understand. I will fight if we don't get Carrie. I know my husband would
Just
just Saw. That's what they were just
not
Saw.
anything else about the event. Just Saw.
Yeah, Eugene would die if we got Carrie.
Murdy did say no literal repeats. It could be a new adaptation, which I will be excited about. I never experienced Saw in the past. I will say when he says no literal repeats, he could literally mean like we slightly reconfigured this so it's not exactly the same, or we changed a
We
half a
changed that
room.
door. Yeah.
Sorry, Jess. Your Murdy tweet song has been replaced with Murder He Wrote. Murdy He Wrote.
Murdy he wrote. Murdy he wrote.
Murdy He Wrote.
Murdy he wrote. I get it. I get it. Murdy
That's the new version.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do: is you're gonna start that, and then in the round, I'm gonna go Marty Tweed. I'm gonna harmonize.
If this rumor is true, I hope they do an original take with this property.
Which
I
property?
assume you're talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre at that point. I don't
Saw.
think you'd want Saw. I think he'd want It's Jonathan. He'd want Texas Chainsaw.
I love some
think.
gore. I really do.
I think I probably actually saw at that point just because it's a less frequent visitor to the event.
Yeah, we've seen Leatherface so much recently too. I feel like.
And I know Hollywood locals would definitely appreciate some extra time off, I'm sure.
Was Hollywood Saw House perceived better than ours in 27?
Thanks.
I feel like because they also had the scene from I think a bigger scene from the movie than we did at the time.
Well, ours wasn't very good in Orlando.
I did not really open my eyes because that's the one thing that gets me. Yeah, Texas. Texas what?
Texas is.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
For sure, this will most likely be the Gore House.
Oh, either way, yeah.
Either of those properties, yeah. There's a very high probability. All right, let's move on. We have a flaming. It's called a. Oh God, I forget what it's called. That military tent.
It's in the
little
thing. It's in
warehouse
the thing.
thing.
It's in the thing.
Wow.
It's in the thing. It's in the thing. Hold. I'm gonna have it.
Someone's
I'm just
gonna
gonna
say
leave it hanging.
who can win? Does Mike know? Are you just?
No,
are you letting it- okay.
I'm just gonna stare at you.
Jess or the chat? Who's gonna win? What's it called?
Two-story mausoleum. That was
Quonset hut.
Quonset hut.
I did it.
There we go.
Quonset
Quonset.
hut. I had to
Quonset hut.
scroll through the whole outline from the episode.
Word I can't pronounce. Tent.
It's a hut. It's not a tent.
Anyways, this is an original, one of only 2 that Hollywood has on their spec map. Pretty common number for them, to be fair.
The mummy cube.
What does this mean?
There were 2 that we talked about when we recorded. With Urban Inferno was the zone, or Toxic Tunnel. Toxic.
And I believe Urban Inferno came directly from the Hauntline. I believe here in our chat.
Because there's a radioactive symbol. It's very tiny.
Yes.
But it is on that Quonset.
Quonset.
I also just learned what a soffit was.
What?
A soffit. If you do gutters and stuff like that, you also do soffits. It's a whole thing.
I don't do gutters.
We're not diving into that right now. But I just, in the way we learned what a Quonset was, I've learned what a soffit was.
When I was younger, I washed my hands out of socket.
What?
I made a list of jerk.
Hollywood gets huts.
There
Orlando
you go.
got warehouse size tent.
We're done. No.
Toxic Tunnel back in Hollywood.
You didn't add enough X's. There we go.
Toxic Tunnel.
I never got to see the Toxic Tunnel.
I mean, it was terrible.
But I still
But I
like
love it.
terrible. Yeah, I like bad, shitty things that are done like that.
Yeah. And I think you could fully redeem it in a house, right?
In a Quonset hut.
In a Quonset.
I'm probably saying that word completely wrong.
Quonset.
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 This feels stupid.
Yeah.
Where's the Z going to go? Urban Inferno's
Quonsets.
Quonset. It's not gonna be the Quonset place instead of the Quiet Place. Yeah, cool. I mean, anything. I don't know post-apocalyptic, but like hell, some kind of helly thing. See, awful but so cool.
Awful was so cool. Yeah, it was like so bad. Not that it was good, but that like I have an appreciation for it.
I see it. There we go.
Yes.
I agree. Because
It would work.
like bugs. Like how did they grow big? How are they? How? I want to see Lawrence just like standing on top of a Quonset with like a fucking ray gun or something, and it's just like beep, 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 beep. That'd be kind of cool with like green.
I mean, I think if you're gonna do Toxic Tunnel, tying it into something else and bringing it in like a
Exterminators, yeah.
deeper story would be a good way to do it, probably.
You could have exterminators with a Z and Toxic Tunnel with a bunch
And
of X's.
Exterminators was a rumored house
Mhm.
this year for Hollywood,
It
so
was on
maybe
the last map. The bug
come together right now. Toxic tin
tonight. Toxic tonight. Ooh.
or Toxic Tunnels.
Oh,
There's
okay.
the-
Toxic Tunnels. The Urban Inferno.
And the last year they barely had people in it. Yeah, I mean, Even a lot of people in it didn't really help, to be honest. Unfortunately. Larry Larva backstory, please.
Oh, I could tell
I'm
you
down for that.
all about it. He was just a little guy born in a little place.
Just a little guy.
Lawrence. Murder, she wrote.
So I'm just gonna say Exterminators, Toxic Tunnel combination because that sounds like fun because I don't really know what this means otherwise.
It's
I don't know
gonna
if
be
you
a
guys have any
zone.
better inklings because I do not.
Like a zone mashup, hell, bug, something.
A bug laboratory themed original house hosted by Larry.
That's scary.
I love it.
Scary Larry.
I love it.
I like that you added the test tube emoji in your comment. Thank you.
Attention to detail.
I really appreciate it.
Then we do have 3 scare zones. They are all unknown. It looks like Purge Dangerous Waters is basically rumored to come back.
Hell yeah.
And then last year, you remember the Blumhouse experience that we did not actually go visit?
I don't remember
because
it.
it unnecessarily had like an hour wait.
And like no
One person
RIP line.
remembers that.
No RIP line,
One
just an express
single
line.
person.
I think the express line was like an hour every night too, or the whole time we were there.
It was crazy. Anyways, that is now a globe on this spec map. Is it just going to be like a universal experience
I would assume.
Universal Epic Preview.
in Hollywood?
On the West Coast,
On
the preview center at
Preview
HHN.
Center.
No, it's probably like the history of the monsters or history of the monster movie at Universal, Save the Studio, like something like that.
Mhm.
They're very deep into their like nostalgia history era right now, like with the tram and everything. So I feel like that makes the most sense. Like our ode to horror. Horror lives here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That could be the Horror Lives Here show.
Damn.
And we have like the Horror Lives Here bar or something. I don't know.
Thinking. Elsie is really going out on a limb here. Oh, no, I missed. Oh, no. One will have chainsaw.
Elsie, that is a wild assumption. I don't know where you would get that idea from.
But also, yes. No, I keep missing. Tyler, Universal Legacy of Horror Show. Exactly, that kind of thing.
But the Megans still come out and bust it down.
Scare zones will be ticks, tacks, and toes.
And you won't be able to decipher which one's a tick and which one's a tack or a toe. Ghost Dolls Toys.
Ew.
Ghost Dolls Toys.
Oh, that's a tape.
Oh.
God, I missed the Jabberwockies.
I never got
You
to
honestly
experience
might
them.
be the only person I've ever heard say that, or you're being facetious.
Maybe this is like the biggest America's Best Dance Crew fan in the world. You don't know their life.
They'd still be the only one that I've experienced.
JC
I have
Chazé, Lil Mama.
Jabberwockies joke. Or a story. Not a joke, a story.
Is it story time?
Yeah, so I worked at a company that no longer exists in Orlando selling theme park tickets and things. Mangoes, the dinner show, right? There was a lady I worked with when she was sold mangoes, she would tell people that the real Jabberwockies were in the Mangoes dinner show. And people would come back to me because she worked in during the day. People that would come back to me and complain and try to return their Mangoes dinner show tickets because the real Jabberwockies were not in Mangoes. They were not in Mango's dinner and show.
Wow.
That happened more than once. She would lie to people to sell the mangoes and tell them the real Jabberwockies were there.
Do you know how devastated I would be if I was gonna see the Jabberwockies? Not at all.
Yeah, I was like, that's wild. I just like need more than just dancing. Is me.
Yeah.
And they're good. They're
Yeah.
great, but I need more. Like my brain, after like one number, I'm like, oh, I wonder how that light works up there. How much do you think they're getting paid? Like that's where I start to go.
True Jabberwockies fan, by the way.
So
Oh,
since season one
I
of
respect
ABDC,
I respect it. It was the Tabawockies?
Jabberwockies, the Fabawockies, the Phobawockies.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up the Hollywood spec map. Any final thoughts? Again, asking the same question. If this was the event in Hollywood, how'd you feel?
Boy, is that a Hollywood event? It's just how it feels.
It's
Like,
very Hollywood, that's for sure.
I'd be mad if we had a Quonset on our map, but on Hollywood, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, that works.
sure. Why wouldn't they have the weekend and a Quonset and a piggy? It's now referred to as the piggy house. I don't make the rules. We missed South America.
No, we talked about
Oh,
it.
did we?
I mean, there's like a different logo on it, I think. I'm blind. I can't see.
Is it flower? It's flowers on this one. We talked about it when we were.
Yeah, it's a flower.
So now
That's
there's
right.
flowers instead of. I feel like this is intentionally placed too because it's farther to the left. But I'm not. I'd say this all the time. I'm not good at maps, so confused. Worried, still excited though. Yes, but I don't know. We talked about like a possible the plants are coming to life, kind of like seeds.
Yeah.
Over on our coast, but
That'd be cool. But it seems like a similar base concept, but going different story, maybe
Mhm.
between Hollywood and Orlando.
oh my god, not a part 1 and part 2 again, please.
No,
I need that.
average at best.
Mhm.
Yeah. 50-50. Uh-huh.
You know what my thought is? This would be a lovely accompaniment to my Knott's 51 trip. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
that's true.
And now Dark Harbor,
That's true.
because that's back. So
This was a long time ago, so I'm not going to scroll up to find it 'cause it's far. But someone did mention only 2 originals is pretty disappointing.
mhm.
Unfortunately, kind of normal for Hollywood, right? They've had 3, but I prefer it's more like that. Do like 3 of them
Yeah.
rather than 2, just 2. It does feel a little light, but very common for Hollywood, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's 2 6s kind of crazy, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So outside of Monstros, Muerte,
Yeah.
Death,
Ooh.
There you go.
I'd love to see him come back in some
Oh,
kind of
that'd be
form.
kinda
It'd just
cool.
be like a storyteller of a sort. Not like the storyteller, but a storyteller.
I mean, he kind of was the guy through that house.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying.
Yeah.
Just be like
Yeah.
a storyteller and have him tell stories. I think it was a really cool looking character.
Yeah.
And he looked impressive too.
Yeah.
He
And his,
like functionally looked really
His
good.
like body language was always good
Mhm.
too in the costume.
I'm just happy I lived closer to Knott's. Yeah.
I'm happy we go to
Yeah.
Knott's.
Counting Terror Tram, the highest count for originals has been 4. Sounds about right.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Ooh.
Mini icon? How about a full icon?
Yeah.
Give him a full icon status.
Oh my god, are we gonna get liquid activated cups again?
It's gonna blow my mind again.
I
It
will
will
never
blow my
forget that
mind again.
moment. That is the one thing I wish we had on camera. It's just
Any last thoughts about this before we wrap up here? No?
no.
All right. Any last discussions from the chat?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna get rid of the spec map here. And anything you want to toss out
Yeah.
before we head out?
Final question.
We're happy to discuss.
Yeah.
The cups were very rad.
Until you're in the purge show.
And then they don't turn off.
Social anxiety was through the roof during that moment. Because I had the camera, or you had the camera. And
Yeah.
I think I was holding both cups.
Yes.
And we had a lot of lights on us. And we were just like in the RIP section, just the same face we made at the hanging, actually.
Oh, very different reason. Very different reason, but same face. Thanks for joining us. We had a great time. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. We're going to be doing them much more frequently. We aren't going to give an exact schedule or time frame yet, but we're going to try to do them frequently, whether that's monthly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see.
Surprise and delight.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank you, Jonathan. If you guys don't already, please go subscribe to the Hotline. He does lives way more than we ever will,
Mm-hmm.
and better lives than we do, to be completely honest. So go subscribe,
Oh,
hang out with the
1,000
Hotline.
times better.
Yeah.
If you want professionalism, see his.
I just want cool merch. Well, if you got cool merch, we might be able to help you out soon. I don't know about
Yeah.
HHN. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Are you going to be at the HHN Spooky Empire panel? Undecided at the moment. If you were wondering, last year we did have a booth. We are not going to have a booth this year, so we will not
Yeah.
have an actual
Yeah.
presence at Spooky. But one or some of us may end up at Spooky, and in which case we're definitely going to go to the panel, of course.
Yeah.
I have so many haunts to go to this year. Yep. That's how we like it. Anxious for announcements for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think we could be pretty close.
Couple weeks.
It should be better than last year, where it was like mid-June.
Yeah,
Was the first announcement? I'm thinking more mid-May at this point. So
yeah, and we just had the Nintendo announcement yesterday. So
do you guys like Yeti houses? Because I love Yeti houses and Yetis.
I love me some big fluffy boys. That's actually my burner account.
Is the weekend pretty much confirmed by rumors? Could it be slash? I wouldn't say confirmed, but there are a lot of insiders who strongly believe it is coming for sure.
Slash Hollywood. I mean, probably Monsters again. Though.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us,
Thank
Marty.
you.
Appreciate you coming.
Marty, your cat's here?
Marty.
Marty. Thank you.
Mary. Appreciate it.
Love you like we love you.
Oh, that feels good.
That's the
Always.
homie right there.
Always.
That's
Yeti
my
houses are the
second
best.
burner account.
Hotline is the best. That's
Yes,
right.
they are. That's also the homie.
Online is the best.
You guys are true pros. I don't even have merch.
But when you do have merch, I'm gonna purchase it. So, because I want your logo on a shirt.
Definitely excited for Spec season with you guys. Fun stream. Appreciate it. And thanks for joining us. Here's a fun one, though. Pre-game drink of choice. JJO's is Wild Turkey 101. Well, if I'm pre-gaming outside of the parks, I'm a kind of a Buffalo Trace guy. I like it for the price. Nice bourbon to sip on. Gets me ready for the event pretty nice. If it's at the event, I'm probably having like a Smittix at Finn's.
No, you're having a pickleback. Okay.
Let me get to that. We do spicy picklebacks. It's what the 365 does in general.
Like that's what we start, and that's normally like at home though. I'm a very social drinker, so HHN is normally where I get my alcohol in for the year.
Mike, what are you going with?
I'm a snake bite.
Snake bite.
At Finn's. Definitely guy.
Midsummer Scream. Murdy will be there. Currently don't have plans to. I will say
One of these years.
I could potentially make it out this year. Potentially. I have a busy July. We'll see. Current most anticipated houses. Ooh, for me, it would be what we'll label currently as Night at the Museum. I think that concept sounds so fucking cool.
Oh, I know my answer.
That's one's on my list. I would say the other one that pops out at me is Slaughter Cinema 2.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
that one, for sure. The Sweets one, those three, I think they're kind of going to carry the year, hopefully.
The Female Monsters. There's not going to be any world where that's not up there.
Thank you, Old Manny.
Thank you.
We appreciate you tuning into any of our content form and appreciate you being at the live stream, even though you couldn't fully hear what was going on. Thanks for choosing us while working.
You got to get the old man ears fixed.
I love you guys. You guys are my favorite podcast. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that. Oh, question. In all fairness, do you get scared by the houses other than the occasional jump scare you didn't see coming? There's different answers across this podcast for sure. I unfortunately am kind of fully at the point where if I get scared, it's a very unique scenario where like someone tries to kick me in the balls.
It's the best thing I've ever seen.
Get scared by jump scare stuff first.
I would say that Jonathan and I are the jumpiest out of the four of us for sure. But the more I go, I feel like the less dramatic I am with the jump scares. But I'm still the one screaming and going fuck in every house, no matter what. Especially out on the West Coast because they just scare different.
It's very different than what you're used to in Orlando, and they focus on the scares more. To be completely honest,
so there were supposed to be vlogs. You guys would have seen them. But
we'll never see them again.
We'll never see them again either. We lost the footage, but there was a specific run through Unmasked in Hollywood where Jonathan and I were like hugging the walls from Hyde, and it was on camera, and we'll never see it again. And you would have seen how chicken shit we get in those houses.
Big things this year. HHN 33 may be a miss, but it's going to be a hit year for HHN 365.
There we go.
Appreciate you.
Always positive vibes.
Which house had the ball check scare? It was a scare zone in Hollywood.
The circus one.
The
Carney one.
The one from 2022.
Mm-hmm.
The one that they were like carnies with chainsaws.
And
he walked up to me all normal and just suddenly like came very close to actually taking me out.
I jumped too.
There must just be like go-to things. He's like, one night, I'm just gonna ruin him, man.
But then it happened at Knott's again too, didn't it? This past year, I thought someone went to, or they tried.
They didn't like,
but
do
it
all
wasn't
in,
fully.
and it didn't. Yeah.
No, I
The
legitimately
only time
thought
it worked that first time is because I thought I was about to just.
I
thought it was
also
over.
I thought I was
I
gonna
was
have
a-
to be a
A
witness.
vasectomy on the spot.
I was gonna have to like go to Universal Jail and be like, no, my friend was hit.
All right. Well, I guess that pretty much wraps up this live stream. Again, we will definitely be doing these again. This was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Appreciate all of you for joining. It's crazy how many of you showed up for our first ever live stream.
Yeah.
So whether you're here live stream, you listen to our podcast, you look at our few YouTube videos we have, follow us on social media and interact, whatever it is, we appreciate you. We'll definitely be back with more live streams and everything else I just listed. So other than that, thank you. We'll see you soon. Just not Hollywood YouTube videos, unfortunately.
No, not from last year at least.
Bye.